Today we're finally going to find out how much horsepower my Beams 3S GE swapped AE86 makes. Now there's a lot of Beams 3S GE swapped 86s and Beams swapped cars, but what's unique about my car back there is I have panic-made ITBs, 52 millimeters. They are the largest ITBs you can get for these engines as far as I'm aware. So that should free up all the intake flow to have the best throttle response as well as the most horsepower, at least from that side of things. And then the other unique thing is that I have a Fujitsu Tech Arts exhaust, which is neck down a little bit smaller than what most people run on their beam swap cars. Most people run a 2.5 inch inside diameter exhaust. This is a 60 millimeter, which is 2.3 inches. So just a little bit smaller. We'll see if it causes any power loss. I've seen power for these all over the place from like anywhere from, like 200 up to 225 even. So we'll see what it makes with these ITBs. I will say that on this dyno here at, this is exact dyno, they typically see about 180 to 190 on beams with the blacktop 4AG ITBs, which is a little lower than standard. Typically, you see about 200 horsepower, that's about the average, so just knowing that their dyno reads a little bit lower might be a little bit of a heartbreaker. It's also stupid hot right now in Phoenix. We're over 100 degrees, so that might also cause some power loss. But we'll see. I'm just mostly excited to be able to have this car done and drivable so I can street drive it. Oh, the other unique thing about this car is I have working air conditioning. It's all set up right here with the hub dyno. Getting ready to go. I'm gonna guess that this is gonna make just over 200 horsepower. On my other car with the Adaptronic ECU and the stock intake manifold, they made 201 wheel horsepower. That was on a different dyno at sea level at cooler temperatures. So we're gonna say I'm fingers crossed, we're gonna break 200 horsepower, but we'll see. We didn't get to finish tuning this first session because ran into some fuel pressure issues, so now I've got to sort that out. And hopefully we'll just get it sorted the next time. Hopefully it's just something simple. That's what I got my fingers crossed for. Fuel pressure is kind of bouncing around and starting to drop out, so I don't know, we'll see. Well, I've got the car back home and I already ran through some diagnostics here and all. Let me catch you up to speed on what I found. So first up, here is our best results from the dyno, and they are not what I was hoping for. So this was the first pull, and after every pull, we started losing more and more power because of the fuel pressure issues. But you can see we did make a maximum of 148 foot-pounds of torque, and then horsepower, we made 175. So that was pretty much after getting the idling sorted out and just the base things put in, and then from there we should be making more power, more power, more power, and we just didn't. So then I started digging into the fuel pressure stuff, right? So I got home and I wanted to check out all the wiring, make sure the wiring was good, because sometimes some wiring can cause some issues. And I had ran all new wires from the battery all the way back to the fuel pump and a brand new ground. So I thought, oh, maybe something went wrong with my wiring. So I used a power probe to bypass everything. And well, let me show you what the fuel pressure looked like there. It started good and then it started fluctuating, so I think there's definitely something going on. I just wired it straight right now with my power probe. So my wiring wasn't the issue because it was still doing it even after bypassing everything. Even though it looked a little better, still wasn't 100%. Then I dropped the tank out. I had to drain some fuel out of it using a little jiggle valve thing, a jiggle siphon. Jiggle it, and this should bring fuel up. And after enough jiggling, fuel is flowing to drain the tank so we can drop the tank. Now I've got the tank sitting on the ground, and I found some fun things with, with the tank and the fuel pump hanger. So one of the things that happens a lot of times is the fuel pump has a little hose that connects it to the fuel pump hanger, hat, whatever, and that can leak. And I was thinking, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe we got some stuff bypassing, especially with the noise that was happening from the fuel pressure regulator. You heard that? Like, maybe we got some issues there. And then, well, once I pulled the fuel pump out, it was pretty apparent, at least, that there were many issues. This is kind of the only bit of wiring that I haven't replaced, and this has been modified and stuff like that, and it doesn't look great. So I figure, well, I need to get a new fuel pump hanger. I'm just looking at that, I decided we're gonna do that. Let me pull the pump out real quick for you. This is an original GTS tank that I had cleaned previously, but well, you know what? That is pretty gross. That pump anchor is pretty nasty. And well, the lines are rusty there, so it's definitely possible that that is causing some fuel to leak. But if we look inside the tank that I cleaned, it is still super, super rusty in there. Let me see if I can get a better shot of this. Yeah, fuel isn't supposed to be that, that murky. And you can see there's there's rust all over. Even though I cleaned this and flushed it and did all kinds of stuff to treat it, it was not enough. So that's a problem. So here's the plan. I have a new fuel pump hanger, bracket, whatever, that thing that's all rusty the pump is bolted to, and a new aftermarket gas tank from Spectra. It's a T01B. This is an aftermarket GTS tank. There are or have been some issues with them, so I got my fingers crossed that I won't have any problems. But even so, I'm gonna get that tank in the car, and then my plan is to, well, take that tank and send it out to have it professionally cleaned and all rust sorted out. Huge bummer that this is where it ends at with our first dyno day, but if I can get all the parts in, it means that I can get back to the dyno next week to get the tune finished, and fingers crossed we can break 200 horsepower, but I don't know if that's happening. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you next time.